G'day guys, in this video I'm going to be doing an engine oil change on my 90 series 1KZ-TE. So stick around and I'll show you how it's done. Ensure your car is up to running temp, as this helps to drain the old oil out of the engine. When replacing your engine oil filter as well, which I recommend doing every oil change, you need around 8 litres of oil to fill the engine back up. Personally, I prefer the Castrol oils and the Ryco filters, as they're reasonably well priced and I've never had an issue with either of these. So I've got my socket set, torque wrench for torquing up the drain plug, and also some brand new tea towels that I stole out of the kitchen. This is my drain pan that I use for catching the oil. You've got to make sure it can hold at least 8 litres of oil. You'll need an oil filter remover, and I also like to wear some black gloves to keep the used engine oil off your hands because it is quite carcinogenic. And here I've just got my workshop manual that's got my torque setting for the drain plug in it. The one component that I am missing for this oil change is the washer that goes on the drain plug. Generally I put a new one on, but I was in Toyota the other day and I just forgot to grab one. So this is a bit of a do as I say, not as I do kind of thing, but definitely recommend replacing that washer every oil change. This is the funnel that I'll be using to put the new engine oil back in the engine. Unfortunately, with this aftermarket bash plate, the drain hole that they've got cut in the bash plate is in the wrong spot. I found that out the hard way when I dropped my oil the first time around, and it ended up absolutely everywhere. So I just need to remove it so we can get better access and drain the old engine oil out. Just removing the engine oil cap just to allow the oil to flow out nice and freely. This is where the drain plug for the sump's located, and it's a 14mm socket. Once the oil's finished draining, I like to go back and put the drain plug back in and torque it up so you don't forget. So torque setting, we're looking for the oil pan sump drain plug, 34 Newton meters. Newton meters. Now the sump bolt's been torqued up to 34 Newton meters, we're going to go ahead and remove the oil filter, which is located just in here near your air cleaner. And we'll be using this filter removal tool. So I'll be wrapping this seat belt around the filter, like so. Then you wind it up, and you just need to make sure you're going the right way to loosen the filter. It's not a whole lot of room in here, but you can get to it. Now the trick with these filters is when you do them up, they don't need to be done up really tight. So that's loose now, so I can remove the tool. And now I'll just be undoing the rest by hand. So as you've got it unscrewed, just turn it up the other way so your oil doesn't go everywhere. These drain buckets have a special place so you can put your filter on to drain out as well. Any oil that's left in here, I like to mop up with paper towel. Now all the old oil's out, I'm just getting the new filter ready to install. So I want to remove it from the box. This is a Z334 from Ryco. I've always got a plastic coating over the top here, so you need to remove that. And it's always a good idea to run some oil around this seal to help it seal properly. Like so. And now that's ready to be installed. When reinstalling the filter, just be careful that you don't cross thread the filter on this thread. Then you want to do it up as tight as you can by hand, and then just go another 1/2 to 3/4 of a turn with the oil filter remover after that. That's nice and firm by hand, so now I'll just go another probably 1/2 a turn. That's it, she's all done up tight. Once you've got your new oil filter in and your drain plug torqued up correctly, it's time to put the new engine oil in. Always put in about 7 litres, then start the vehicle, get it up to running temperature, turn it off, let it sit for a few minutes, and then check the oil on the dipstick and top it up, going off of what the dipstick says. I always like to put a rag around this as well, just in case I spill any oil. Okay, so now it's time to start the vehicle, let it get up to running temperature, and then we'll be checking the oil via the dipstick. Just a quick tip with starting these 1KZ-TEs. Once you click her over and let it glow, once the light goes off, just let it go for another 10 or 15 seconds afterwards, and she'll start a lot better. That's back up to running temp now, so we'll just let it sit for a few minutes, and then we'll check the oil via the dipstick. Alright guys, don't know if you can quite see that on camera or not, but this oil level's looking quite good to me. So now all that's left to do is bolt the bash plate back up and job is done. So you might be wondering what I do with the old engine oil. Well, I tip it back into the containers the new engine oil came out of, and then a lot of the super cheap auto stores around now have recycling bins for used engine oil. So I'll just take it down to my local super cheap, drop it in the bin free of charge, and you're all done. So that's a massive thumbs up to Super Cheap Auto, thanks for that service. It's very handy. Well, that's the bash plate taken care of and the oil change for another 5,000 kilometres. If you found this video useful, make sure to give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.